Hey Team Karate USA, we are back for the third installment of the double bow staff tricks. Today going over the flying circus. Let's do this. The flying circus is where we take one bow staff, we have the bow roll up the opposite side of our body from behind the back, and once it rolls up all the way to my opposite shoulder, I hit the bow staff, making it fly in the air, and then I catch it. Full speed looks like this. In order to execute the flying circus, first we're going to go over how to do the regular circus. So we'll put one bow staff down. All I have to remember is I need to hold the bow staff 1/4 of the way in. So if this is halfway point, this would be 1/4 point. I hold it here. Now for some people this might vary due to the size of your body, how long your limbs are, but generally right underneath the end of the grip with about 3 inches is right where I want to be, or again, like I said, about 1/4 of the way into the bow staff. Once I have the grip here, there are a couple of steps I need to take to ensure that I have a successful circus, and with this variation, we'll be using our hand to hit. So, I take the bow, I'm going to wrap it around over the top and point it down, going behind my back. If that's a little troublesome, you can just take the bow and point it down behind the back. I like to do this motion first because it gives me a little more momentum to go into the roll, but to each his own. So, bow goes behind the back. I have my arm placed behind the back. Now, when I get to this point, I want to make sure that my hand touches the bottom of my ribs. That's very important. If your hand's too low, it's going to roll too low and it's going to shoot straight to the floor. And if it's a little too high, I'm not that flexible with my shoulders, but if you go a lot higher, it's going to roll a lot higher, a lot faster. So, right at the bottom of where your ribs are, which is pretty low in your torso, that's where you want your hand to be. So, bow goes around to the bottom. Now, as I roll it up, I want to ensure that it rolls to my opposite shoulder. When it starts coming up, I don't want it to come towards my same shoulder. I want it to come up towards my opposite shoulder, so when I release, it rolls here. Now, if you do it correctly, the bow will roll and it will start to slide off, and you should be able to catch it at an arm's distance length, okay? So watch this, right here. And I can catch it out here. Once you solidify that circus motion where you can catch it at arm's length, then we go into using our other hand to tap. So whatever hand you're using to do the circus, once I let go and it rolls up, it gets to this point here, as it starts sliding off, my opposite hand will go palm up, flicking the top of the bow by my shoulder here, rotating for me to catch. Full speed. Here. Now that you've mastered the circus as well as the circus with our opposite hand tap, now it's time for the flying circus. In order to do this, I use my dominant side bow staff here, holding it 1/4 of the way in. My other bow staff, I'll be holding right underneath the center. And all I'm going to do is use my circus with my one arm. Once the circus starts rolling up and it comes to this point on my opposite shoulder, just like the hand tap, I cross my bow with the opposite hand across the front of my body, hitting the top. It should rotate and then I catch it. Let's try it full speed. Let's do it. Just like that. I hope you enjoyed this week's series of the Low Skill Challenge utilizing the double bow staff. So, next week we're going to get into our katana tricks. I can't wait. Until next time, I'm Master C.J. and I'll see you soon.